Good evening and welcome to the Pennsylvania Cable Network High School Football Game of the Week. Tonight from Venerable Kemp Memorial Stadium on the campus of Shamokin Area High School, the Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes and the Shamokin area Indians will do battle for the coal bucket. We'll talk about that in a little while, but right now the Red Tornadoes getting ready to kick off to start this football game. Number 99, Mangiapane, has it teed up. I am Warren Altimore along with Wayne Brokenshire and Jose Gonzalo, going to bring you all the action tonight, and it will be an action-packed game, I guarantee it, in Week 10 of the regular season. Red Tornadoes signal that they are ready. Down deep for the Indians is Jeremiah and number 20, Devin Pietkevich.
Setting our clocks there.
So somebody's not ready here, but we're ready to go. All right. Now everybody's ready to go, including the umpire. And we are underway, and it's a
onside kick
recovered by the Indians. Number 82 on the recovery for the Indians, Blake Kane. And the Indians will have great field position in Mount Carmel territory at the Mount Carmel 47-yard line on an onside kick to start the football game. And that's the nature of this game between these two schools.
Okay, tonight, starting for Shamokin, the quarterback is number 11, Nate Grimes. He's a freshman, hasn't taken over that position at all this year.
Goes right up the middle.
Sam Deptula, the carrier, number 7.
Got a gain of, actually probably almost no gain on the play at all. It'll be second and almost 10 for the Indians. Ball still at the 47-yard line. As you said, Grimes, the freshman, first start of the season in Week 10 for the Indians.
Tornadoes in a 5-2 defense.
That's going to be Deptula again. And Deptula finds some room. Hood will drag him down finally for the Red Tornadoes, but very close to a first down.
Avery Demko, number 14, helping out on the stop. 3rd and a yard.
Ball inside the Red Tornado 40-yard line at the 38 on this first offensive series for the Indians.
Number 88 on the tackle. 3rd down and less than a yard.
Indians going to an I formation now. And hand the ball off quickly to Deptula, and Deptula on a dive play.
No, I think that was
that
was the quarterback, Grimes.
Grimes, I'm sorry.
On a keeper, it was step to the right and take off up through between the guard and the tackle.
So it's 1st and 10 out at the 32-yard line of the Red Tornadoes. Pietkevich now trying to get around the end on a sweep. Pietkevich, a shifty runner, very small young man, but a very quick young man. He's the leading ground gainer for the Indians on the season.
27, John Ayers, and number 47, Manis McCracken making the tackle for the Tornadoes. Ball exactly on the 25-yard line. Nope, false start by Shamokin.
That's a 5-yard penalty.
Been one of the themes for the Indians all year long. They're 1-8 coming into this game. The Red Tornadoes 4-5. The Indians have killed themselves with turnovers and penalties throughout the season. They've played tough in most football games, but just can't get it over the hump there with some of the penalties and turnovers that they've incurred. So now it's 1st and 15.
Number 10, Washuta comes into the offense. He comes to the split side on the left.
Pietkevich pitched the other way. Pietkevich looking to get outside. The Red Tornadoes originally had him boxed in, but he makes the turn, and there's an example of just how quick Mr. Pietkevich is.
Devin is fleet of foot, let me tell you. You give him a little bit of open room on the outside, and he's going to pick up some yardage for you.
Gain gain of 10 on the play brings up second down.
It'll be second down and 5 now for the Indians. The ball at the 26-yard line of the Red Tornadoes as the Indians drive after recovering the onside kick to start the game. 9:56 here in the first quarter. A penalty on the play, and now a second penalty.
We have a penalty marker on the play.
So 2 penalties on the play.
Yep.
The second penalty
The second penalty.
is a dead ball penalty, and so is the first one actually. So we'll wait and see what they say here.
Dead ball, false start against Shamokin area.
And there's an unsportsmanlike against the Red Tornadoes. We have a false start and an unsportsmanlike. We'll see how they mark it off here. I think they're going to mark off 5 yards and then mark off the 15.
Yep.
And then the 15-yard person.
That's exactly what they're going to do. So the ball to the 31, and then it's going to take a 15-yard march back to the 16. Where it'll be first and 10 Indians from the 16-yard line.
That's a first down for Shamokin area. First and 10 for the Indians from the Mount Carmel area 16-yard line.
Grimes out of the shotgun. Pietkevich, and Pietkevich stopped in the backfield, and he got away from one guy, but not the other, and he'll be a loss on the play.
Anderson and Manus McCracken, number 47, comes up from the linebacker position and makes the final stop.
So it'll be second down and
Loss of the yard
11.
brings up second down and 11.
Ball back at the 17-yard line now for Grimes as he goes under center. Pitch out to Pietkevich and a fumble on the play. Pietkevich is going to cover it up, but another loss on the play, and it'll be third down.
He didn't even have a chance for that one. A little bit further than he would have liked, but again, you got to remember they have a freshman quarterback that never took a snap until this game tonight.
Well, the ball back at the Red Tornado 24-yard line will make it third down and 17 for the Indians now. Well, you assume this could be a pass play for Grimes.
Dave Stevens in motion.
And it is, and it's going nowhere. Fumble on the play. Pietkevich
Pietkevich
picks it up, and Pietkevich is buried. So the Indians kind of self-destruct as they had a first and 10 at the 16, and then
John Ayers caused the fumble. Pietkevich, Devin picks it up, and John Ayers makes the tackle.
again, that's pretty consistent with the Indians all year long with turnovers and fumbles, and you saw 2 of them there. They recovered both, but 4 losses on the play, and now it's fourth down and 20 for the Indians.
Clock ticks down to 8 minutes left in the first quarter.
Grimes on a keeper. He rolls out, looks downfield, looks across the field, and he throws it incomplete. He was trying to hit number 82 down there, Blake Kane.
Well covered, though. He was double covered. Manus and Mike Hood, covering him that time as he was coming across from the left side of the offensive lineup across the center of the field.
So the Red Tornadoes will take over at their own 27-yard line now as they turn the Indians away. The Red Tornadoes come out in this game, they average about 229 yards a game rushing. They are a run-oriented team. They throw for about 118 a game, but they will run first. And this is Zach Zarkowski right up the middle, over the 30-yard line to the 31-yard line.
Tackle on the play by number 7.
Gain of about 4 in the play. It'll bring up a second and 6.
Sam Deptula makes the stop that time.
Play brings up second down and 6. Second and 6 for Shamokin area.
Again, the Red Tornadoes will show you the exact same look every time. That's Tanny now, and Tanny looking for some room on the inside. The Indians well defensed that play.
21, Wayne Tanny on the
They protected to the outside. There was, I don't even know if he could find the person that made the tackle that time. There were at least 6 guys there.
So it'll be third down for the Red Tornadoes now. About 3rd and 4. They gave him a couple of yards on the carry. Again, this is a wing T offense, and it's one that doesn't vary ever. They're going to stay in it the entire game. Ayers looks to pass. He looks downfield, and he has Tanny. Tanny can hold on to it.
Oh, they didn't. They
couldn't hold on to it, and it's 4th down.
Nice pass by John Ayers. Had to get it up over the defense that time. Tanny right in his hands, but dropped it on the way down.
Now the Red Tornadoes.
John Ayers is now the punter.
Go back to punt, right. He did not punt all year. This is the first game that he's punting. He can punt. We've seen him punt. We just haven't seen him do it this year. But he will do the punting duties for the Red Tornadoes. Puts Reichert in motion. One of the few teams that puts a guy in motion on a punt, but they do. And a nice kick by Ayers. Pietkevich at the 36-yard line. And I tell you, he's an elusive guy.
Jack Chapman, number 44, makes the tackle on about the 44, 43-yard line where they're going to spot it.
1st and 10, Shamokin area. Really unusual to see a new starting quarterback in week 10 of the regular season. But
well, they've had 3.
Right.
Zach Johnson was the quarterback, and Colin Bowers, who is a sophomore, was the quarterback during the season.
Pietkevich on the carry, and Pietkevich gets loose, and Pietkevich, it took McDonald to bring Pietkevich down, but a big run, and he is so fast and elusive.
Yep. Probably the fastest one on the field right now on either side of this ball. But you could see him as he was going down. All he has to do is shift his feet one way or the other, and he's picking up some extra yardage for the Indians.
Pietkevich the other way, and this time Anderson says no way. Big Billy Anderson, number 75 for the Red Tornadoes, stops Pietkevich in the backfield. Now the downside of being that small is one arm can bring you down, and you saw that right there. He couldn't get away from Anderson. He only had an arm tackle on him, but he brought him down.
Colin Herb, number 72, was right behind Anderson, waiting his turn.
It'll be 2nd and 14 now for the Indians at the Red Tornado 48-yard line.
Marcus Divert comes a spread left for the Indians.
It's going to be a pass play by Grimes, and Grimes is going to be stopped in the backfield by Hood. Hood sacks Grimes as he rolled right into Hood, and that's a big loss on the play, all the way back to the Indian 41-yard line.
Hood coming in from the defensive end position for the Tornadoes. Nobody touched him that time and had a direct shot right on Grimes.
It's 3rd down and about 23 now for the Indians.
Down exactly 5 minutes left in the first quarter.
And Grimes is in the shotgun. And Grimes is going to hand it on a jet sweep to Stevens. And Stevens trying to get around the end. And Stevens will be knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line of the Red Tornadoes. It'll be 4th down and about 10.
Devin Pietkevich, number 20, threw a nice block, and that's what sprung that for the extra 10 yards.
So 4th down, and the Indians look like they're going to punt the ball. Number 10, Alec Washuta, in to do the punting duties. Number 3 for the Red Tornadoes, Craig Reichert, goes deep. He's standing down along his 15-yard line. Nice kick. Riker lets it go. It's going to bounce inside the 10, and it's going to bounce into the end zone. He waited a little too long to get it there. Jeremiah, he should have got in front of it there a little bit.
It hit on the 10-yard line, and when it hit, it had that much speed going
Yeah.
forward that it hit again on the 3-yard line and right into the end zone. He carried it.
Yeah, it totally surprised him on that one as he thought he was going to down it inside the 5. It'll be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes from the 20-yard line. This is the, Jose, the 110th meeting between these schools.
This is the 110th meeting since 1893, with Mount Carmel leading the series 74-25 and 10 ties in the series.
Ayers is going to pitch it out to Karicki, and Karicki makes a nice cut. Karicki's still on his feet, and Karicki up to the 39-yard line, 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes. Tanner Karicki, number 1, the ball carrier. He's a sophomore for the Red Tornadoes.
Noah Mangiaruna makes the tackle for the Indians.
Warren, you talked about the series. It's the 66th coal bucket game also since 1951, something that both communities take a lot of pride in.
Tanny goes in motion. It's going to be a pitch to Tanny. Tanny tries to find a hole there, and he's not going to do it. Number 54, Jacob Carpenter, on the initial hit. So they have that play pretty well defense, it looks like,
to
for
the
the
outside.
Indian side. Yep.
Jake Carpenter, very good athlete, great student at Shamokin. Outstanding wrestler. This summer he was out in, I think, Nationals out in the Midwest someplace.
2nd down and 11 as they give Tanny a 1-yard loss on the play. This one is a fake
Pass.
to Zarkowski. He looks
Looking deep for
downfield.
Tanny.
Tanny has his man beat and just can't get underneath it. Threw it a little too far on coverage for the Indians down there. Number 33, Caleb Jamont. So it'll be 3rd down and 11 now for the Red Tornadoes.
Got to say, John Ayers put that one out there a long time and almost put it right on the spot.
Well, the Red Tornadoes, partly the passing early on here is to try to loosen the defense up because they are absolutely stacked against the run.
Well, they're running a 6-man line, and they're bringing 4 linebackers up, or their defense up into the linebacker position. One guy is back as the safety.
Brings Tanny in motion the other way, and Tanny's going to try to get outside. Tanny
Cuts
cuts it inside, and Tanny falls down as he crosses the 40-yard line.
That was number 66. Aaron Miller had reached out and tripped Tanny up, or Tanny was picking up some bigger yardage than what he did.
Official timeout here on the field as number 75 Anderson's going to have to leave as he's limping there.
We're going to send in our punt team on this one. John Ayers is going back. Jake Kolokas, 53, goes in, along with Jack Chapman, number 44.
Number 8, Jake Jeremiah, and number 20, Devin Pitkevich.
Jeremiah and Pitkevich await the kick from Ayers. Long snap. High kick this time. Pitkevich is going to take it down along his 25-yard
blocking
line.
the back.
And Pitkevich still on his feet. There's a penalty flag down on the play, and Ayers knocks Pitkevich out of bounds.
John Ayers and Jake Kolokas, 53, in on that one.
But it'll come back as there was a block in the back right at the point of the catch.
But it took a while for the flags to come out, but that was so obvious.
So they'll mark this penalty off, and the Indians will start a little bit deeper in their own territory. The penalty happened at the 26-yard line, so I assume it'll go back to the 16.
From the spot, yep.
Okay, it'll be 1st and 10 Indians from their own 16-yard line. This is their worst field position so far tonight. 1:58 remaining in the first quarter of play here.
Have their play already set. We're up at the line of scrimmage. Brendan Morris, number 70, is playing the defensive end position. That's the first that we've seen that a little bit this year.
Going to be a sweep to Stevens, and Stevens tries to get outside, and Stevens goes nowhere as Ayers buries Stevens.
Yep.
Right
Riker,
along the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell
there.
you what, Riker had taken Pete Kevich on and strung him out further and further to the sidelines, and that gave Ayers time to come up and make the hit.
He'll lose a yard on the play. It'll bring up second down and 11 for the Indians now. Ball at the 15-yard line. As Grimes will go under center in a straight I formation look for the Indians. And it's Pietkevich, and Pietkevich is going to try to make the outside corner there. And
he's quick, I'll tell you,
he's
does
quick,
it.
but he's taking a beating as he was hit hard out of bounds by the Red Tornadoes. Again,
Demko
Ayers down.
and
Demko.
Ayers.
And he really gained about 5 out to the 20-yard line, and it'll bring up third down and about 6.
There's Avery Demko. He's a sophomore also, along with John Ayers.
Indians come out in a trips formation now. They're trips to the right. As Grimes goes back and he's under pressure immediately, he hits his man, number 18, Divert. And Divert is going to pick up a first down out over the 30-yard line.
And they had 2 men running in the same area. David Stevens, number 5, was also in that area, along with Divert. But both of them were open.
Ball out to the Indian 33-yard line now. As Grimes gets the play from the coaching staff on the sideline there.
Down to 10 seconds in the first quarter.
Pietkevich, and Pietkevich goes nowhere as he's buried by the Red Tornadoes. That's number 72. The initial hit was Colin Herb. Herb, a freshman for the Red Tornadoes. And so it'll be second down and about 11 as we bring the first quarter to a close here at Kemp with the score. The Red Tornadoes 0, the Shamokin Area Indians 0. All right, we're back here to get the second quarter underway.
Not much offense in the first quarter, Warren. Shamokin 14 rushes for 30 yards, 1 of 2 passing for 13, 43 yards of total offense for Shamokin. Mount Carmel even worse, 5 rushes for 26 yards and 0 for 2 passing. Defensive struggle.
All right, it's second down and 11 from the Indian 32-yard line as we get ready to start the second period here. No score. Shamokin will come out in a twins formation now. Grimes out of the shotgun. Puts Jeremiah in motion. He fakes it to Jeremiah. He looks downfield.
Oh!
He was trying to hit number 18 down there, Divert, and almost intercepted by McDonald.
Divert was the only one coming from the right side. It was a double slot. Divert on the far outside, and all he was doing is curling back into the center of the field. I guess they were trying to catch us playing a little soft that time, trying to hit the short pass 7 yards down the field and overthrown. But I'll tell you, Grimes should be smiling right now that we didn't intercept the ball.
Third down and 11. Again, it's twins formation for the Indians. Jeremiah goes in motion. He fakes it to Jeremiah, looks downfield. He threw the exact same pass. Again, it's the exact same play, and he threw it incomplete, and it's 4th down. So 2 times for the same play, and neither one of them worked, and now it's a punt situation, and Washuta in to attempt to kick the punt. And number 3, Reichert for the Red Tornadoes goes deep. He'll be standing along his 40-yard line awaiting the kick.
Punting for Shamokin area, number 10, Alex Mashuda, back deep from Mount Carmel area.
Ooh, Tornadoes are going for that one.
Reichert will let it hit, and it will roll dead about the 38-yard line of the Red Tornadoes. It'll be 1st and 10 from there.
By number 8 for Shamokin area, Jake Jeremiah. Mount Carmel area will take over 1st and 10.
You can catch the replay of tonight's matchup on cable or on PCN Select tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Visit PCN.com for the details.
Gricky comes into the Tornado lineup on offense.
Ricky goes in motion, but it's a handoff to Tanny on the inside, and Tanny some nice yardage out over the 45-yard line. Stopped
Mike
by number 3
Breslin.
Breslin.
Nice play. Mike Breslin playing the strong safety, free safety for Shamokin, and stood his ground the whole time, but just waited a little bit too long to come up and make the tackle. Pickup of 9 yards.
The fake this time, and quarterback Ayers will keep it, and Ayers will take it over the 50-yard line for a 1st down at the Indian 49-yard line. And you look at this offense and of a wing T, Ayers the leading ground gainer and the leading carrier for the Red Tornadoes this year.
Which makes it even more unusual. It was his first carry tonight.
Right, yeah, he's not really touched the ball much tonight. So everything going a little different than we're used to seeing on both sides of the ball here with a new quarterback on the Shamokin side.
Gives it to Tanny this time around the right side.
Stopped down there by number 5,
five.
Stevens on the stop for the Indians. Pick up of a couple on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Shamokin plays very good lateral defense. They're keeping Tornadoes contained to the inside. They're not allowing them to get around the corner as they are used to doing.
Zarkowski right up the middle. And Zarkowski will be
Deptula.
stopped by Deptula.
Number 31.
Deptula's playing a great defensive game for Shamokin tonight.
By number 7.
All down to about the 43-yard line of the Indians. It'll be 3rd down and about 4 altogether. Put it down at the 44-yard line.
Shamokin remains in that 6-man defense, and they're bringing their 2 cornerbacks up, depending on how the Tornadoes set up their offense. They now have 5 linebackers. And they called encroachment by the Indians.
That penalty give the Red Tornadoes a 1st down along the Indian 49-yard or 39-yard line when they place the ball down. So 1st and 10.
And that's a 1st down for Mount Carmel area from the Shamokin area 39-yard line.
Takes it to Tanny, gives it to Zarkowski up the middle, and Zarkowski powers his way down to about the 35-yard line.
There's Sam Deptula, also again number 7, in on that tackle. Starting to use Tanny as a decoy a little bit here, trying to get him to the outside. And that time, as that motion was going on, Zarkowski is a straight dive play up off guard to the right side.
Crosby goes in motion. This will be a pass played by Ayers as he looks back
Coming
the other
ball.
way.
Look at this.
Got a man wide open. That's number 11, Wesley Sherrock, and Sherrock takes it into the end zone. Touchdown. Red Tornadoes at the 8:13 mark for the second quarter, and he was wide open.
Yeah, no, there was nobody that had seen Sherrock coming out of that
Well, it's the
tight
tight end
end
spot.
position
That's the
that
killer.
time.
Yeah. The killers with a tight end on the backside of the play was where that really went. And they just did not see him come out.
That's Wesley Sherrock's 6th touchdown via the pass this year with only 14 receptions, so every other time.
Yeah, pretty productive. Number 99, Rossellino Mangiapane on to attempt to kick out of the hold of McDonald. Mangiapane puts it up, and it is good. It is 7-0 Red Tornadoes. So again, we were talking about this early on. This is a battle of the coal bucket. For those of you around the state of Pennsylvania, this is one of, if not the longest running high school football trophy between two schools. And while they've been meeting since the 1890s, this is the 66th edition of the coal bucket. And it has not gone Shamokin's way recently. They have not won in actually 20 years now. But you can't imagine the meaning this thing has for these two schools. Of course, the coal bucket, a signature of both of these schools in the heart of the anthracite coal region. That's what dominated this area for so many years, and that's what they give out now. It's kind of just an old black bucket, full of flowers, but it means an awful lot to these two schools. And believe me, this is such a big game, and the week leading up to it here. And these two schools are backyard rivals.
Yes,
they border each other, and there's just a lot of neat high school things going on here with these two schools.
And up to 1973, Jose.
Up to 1973 was held on Thanksgiving Day, the last game being here in 1973. Back to the coal bucket for a second. It was originally painted gold because they wanted it to be a prize. And after a few years of getting kicked around and knocked around, they decided to let's make it a real coal bucket and painted it back to black. The record stands at 48-15-2 in Mount Carmel's favor over those 63 years of coal bucket play.
All right, Mangiapane. Squibbs kicks it. That's the nature of Mount Carmel's kickoff game. It's going to be taken by one of the short guys. Looks like big number 77 down there, Ben Wright. But the Red Tornadoes do not kick deep, and they do not kick deep because they don't feel they have the speed to cover the kick. Now, in this situation with the Shamokin Indians, you're not going to kick it deep no matter what because of Pietkevich, who is a threat to run it back every time he touches the ball. So strategy tells you don't let him touch the ball. Grimes will come out in a shotgun. That's Stevens in motion. Hands it right up the middle to Pietkevich, and Pietkevich is going to run into McCracken and Boris. Bring up a second down now and 7. The ball up over the 35 at the 37-yard line. Stevens comes in motion the other way, fakes it to Stevens, the keeper by Grimes, and Grimes will pick up the first down up at the 44-yard line. Tackle made by Hood.
Some nice blocking on the left side of the offensive line there. Aaron Miller, number 66, is over there, and Jake Carpenter opened up a hole for Grimes to run through.
Keeper by Grimes again. And this time Grimes will only pick up about 2 yards on the play. He'll bring up a second down and 8. Hood once again on the carry down there along with Ayers on the tackle, I should say.
Brennan Boris, number 70, had the initial stop on Grimes to slow him down a little bit for the extra help.
Now this game tonight has playoff implications for the Red Tornadoes, not for the Indians. They'll be packing it up after this game But the Red Tornadoes trying to stay in the contention in the District 4 2A playoffs. And if they win, they're in solidly. Even if they lose, they may still be in, but they'd like to win this game to be assured of a spot.
Oh,
And that went wrong
right
in a number of
from the
different
beginning.
ways, and Ayers is going to make Grimes pay for that mistake, as nobody looked like they moved there.
When you look at the replay on that, Grimes and Piakowski were talking back and forth, and Grimes took the snap, and Piakowski never even moved from that position.
Lost back to the 40-yard line. It's now third down and almost 15 for the Indians.
Harrison Reed comes out for the Tornado defense.
Grimes drops straight back. He's under pressure immediately. And it's intercepted by Cuff, number 32 for the Red Tornadoes, as Cuff takes it down the sideline and finally knocked out of bounds down there by number 5, Stevens. But it's Red Tornado football in Indian territory. They'll place the ball down about the Indian 43-yard line on the interception by Cuff.
Cuff that time. The ball, the pass from Grimes was up in the air, and it took a while for that play to develop. And Cuff watched the ball the whole time and took a step towards the ball.
Yeah, we have a penalty flag
Penalty.
here. I don't know. I'm not sure where this penalty took place at. It's 3rd and 15. It was 3rd and 15 now. We'll see.
This has to be before the play.
I did not see what
I
it was
didn't
there.
either.
And it's going to take it down to
That was a personal foul.
45-yard line. It's enough for a first down. Just makes the first down. So an interception is negated, and the Indians retain possession. I don't know what we did, what anybody did there. I didn't see what was going on from either side. So a big break for the Indians.
Pass.
Deptula, and this time Deptula was wide open, and Deptula inside the 20-yard line.
Again, I think they were looking to catch the Tornadoes that time, playing a little soft. Deptula was the out man. There was a slot man in front of, to his left, and all he did was took 2 steps and bent towards the hash mark, and caught right in front of McDonald.
Ball's down at the 17-yard line of the Red Tornadoes as Jeremiah goes in motion. Jeremiah's going to keep it, and Jeremiah breaks loose.
And a
Touchdown, Indians. Jacob Jeremiah, number 8, takes it into the end zone. He's a junior, and it's 7-6 with the extra point to come.
Nice play by the Indians. Good blocking. When Jeremiah made the corner, they had great downfield blocking, and all it was just an alley for him to run through the last 10 yards and cross over the goal line.
Washuta in to attempt the extra point. Pietkevich is the holder in this formation.
Well, you guys couldn't have been more clear early on when you talked about the importance of penalties and at wrong times.
Washuta's kick is up, and it is good at 7-7. You're right, 7-7, but the Red Tornadoes actually gave him a touchdown there on the personal foul penalty. After not only gave him the touchdown, they negated lost the ball and negated the interception. And again, that's also been somewhat of a theme for the Red Tornadoes throughout this season, as they like to shoot themselves in the foot with penalties, and they do so again here tonight at Kemp Memorial. So,
with 5 minutes and 2 seconds left in this first half, it gives the Indians a great shot in the arm of adrenaline now. You can see the emotion on their side, and everything is now on the Indian side.
Shamokin, 19 rushes, 54 yards, 2 of 5 passing, 41. Total offense of 95 yards, but that big 7 points after the penalty. Mount Carmel has only run 13 plays first half.
Gricky and Tanny go deep for Washuta's kickoff here. These teams have grown a little bit apart size-wise. They were fairly evenly matched for many, many years, but now the Red Tornadoes are competing in Double A, and actually they're the third smallest school in Double A in District 4.
Yes.
The Indians up at Quad A now. So it's a little bit of a mismatch in size of the school district, but size on the sidelines are the Indians not that many more kids on the sideline than the Red Tornadoes. All right, the shooter says I'm ready. Going to go down to Karicki. Karicki down along the 12-yard line, and Karicki not going to get it. Well, he does. I shouldn't say what he does. He takes it up to the 20-yard line. Finally knocked down there by number 54 for the Indians, Carpenter.
Jake Carpenter.
So 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
Mount Carmel area takes over 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes from their own 20-yard line.
Zarkowski standing in the backfield with Ayers. And Ayers will be on a keeper. And Ayers, a nice run.
Great run by Ayers, but a great play by David Stevens. Ayers had 3 blockers in front of him yet and had a lot of green to go. Dave Stevens makes an outstanding tackle from behind.
Pickup of 8 in the play. It'll be 2nd and 2 now for the Red Tornadoes.
From their own 28-yard line.
This time it's going to be Tanny following Zarkowski.
And he gets to
Tanny
the
breaks loose,
outside.
and Tanny's loose on the outside. And Tanny knocked out of bounds down there by number 33, Jamat. But he'll pick up a 1st down, and he's in Indian territory down at the Indian 39-yard line.
You could see the flow of the blocking for the Tornadoes as they came through the line. Tanny waited
You have a flag on the play.
till each block went. It has to be holding against the Tornadoes.
Flag down at the 40-yard line here.
I don't know where you could have holding at the 40.
So they place the ball back at the 30-yard line, where it's going to be actually enough.
Should be enough,
Should
for,
be
a
enough
first
for a
down.
first down. If it isn't, it's by about 6 inches.
Blocking the back against Mount Carmel area.
I guess it's not touching the 20 because it was on the 20 to start off with. So it's at the, not touching the 30. I mean, so it's got to be 2nd down and inches here for the Red Tornadoes. And Ayers will pick up the 1st down as he crosses over the 30. Number 54 on the stop for the Indians. Again, Carpenter having a nice defensive effort
Yes, he is.
on their side of the ball. So it'll be a 1st down with the Red Tornadoes hurting themselves with penalties tonight.
Down to exactly 4 minutes. Clock is running in this half.
Ayers looking to pass. He's
Coming
got plenty
back
of
the
time
opposite way.
trying to find Sherrock. And Sherrock made a nice catch, but I think
But
he made it out of
yeah,
bounds.
He was out.
That is a nice catch. We have an Indian down on the sideline
Underneath
down there. And that is the one problem with Kemp
Yeah.
Memorial is the really small sideline. There's not a lot of room between the end line and the bench.
He
And
actually ended up underneath the
underneath the bench.
benches.
Oh, I can't see who that is. I think it's Stevens, but I can't be sure. But that's the one drawback of this stadium is that there's very little room between the bench and the end line. So there's a timeout on the field as they attend to the Indian. Nice catch by Sherrock, but he did it out of bounds.
Sherrock's
And
down.
Sherrock's
too.
actually down too. It looks like 2 players are down. Coach Dorenzo comes over to check on his player from across the field there. This is Pat's 4th year as coach here at Shamokin, I guess, or I'm trying to remember how long he's been here. Maybe a little longer than that, maybe.
No, it might even be only 2.
Or only
I
2.
think
Is it
it's
only 2 years?
two.
Okay, maybe I'm sorry, 2 years. All right, so Shirok stands up, and he'll be all right. They're still working on the Shamokin player. Again, hitting the benches is never an easy thing.
That whole play was stopped early on when they bumped Shirok off of his route.
Yep.
And it's the thing you do on your receivers. If you let them run free, they're going to get open and you're going to complete passes. But if you bump them off the route, it affected the timing of the whole play. John had to wait to get the ball off, and by the time he got it there, it was covered.
So again, we talk about playoffs a little bit here. The Red Tornadoes fighting for a District 2 or District 4 2A playoff, and the reason they're fighting it with a losing record, actually, they have a very intense schedule. They've played only one AA school the entire season, and that's Southern Columbia area. So they built up points with their wins, and it's also in District 4 an 8-game 2A playoff, or 8 teams qualify 4 games. Sorry.
There are 13 teams
So,
in AA, but
yeah.
there are 8 teams.
So that's the reason the Red Tornadoes are alive at this point in the season, only being 4-5 with a record. So they're trying, actually, if they can win tonight, the Red Tornadoes will be seated about 6th or so in the 8-team playoff. And as I said, the Indians playing a tough Quad A schedule for them. Again, this all happened with the reclassification of the numbers. And I said the Red Tornadoes are still, not only are they a solid AA team, but they're a small AA team, and that reflects in their numbers, as they're probably only suiting about 32 kids tonight. I think the way he talked last night, we coached Coach Dara, so their numbers are still not where they want to be. That's number 3 down there. I'm sorry, that was Breslin, and Breslin now finally up, and that's good to see him up on his feet there.
Good to see Dr. Miller and Dr. Greco embrace there. They've been friends a long time, both of them long-time team physicians for both schools, and do an outstanding job. We sometimes forget or underestimate the job those guys do for these teams.
All right, it'll be 2nd down and 10 when we start play again. The ball at the Red Tornado 33-yard line. 3:36 remaining in the second quarter of play here. It's a 7-7 tie.
0-1-1-9. If you got it, come and get it, or I'm going to use it.
All right, we get ready to go back into play here.
2nd and 10 for Mount Carmel area from their own 33-yard line.
Ayers will be back there with Zarkowski. The only thing that ever changes in this lineup in the formation is who's standing next to Ayers. Tanny on the handoff, and Tanny makes a nice move, and Tanny will be knocked down about the 38-yard line, 39-yard line.
Tanny made 2 nice moves coming across the line of scrimmage that time. And the last move was to get over Devin Pikevich.
Placing almost at the 39-yard line. It's 3rd down and 4 now for the Red Tornadoes.
Clock moving, Warren. No sense of urgency, although you would think we'd want to put a score in.
Stoppage of play before timeout Red Tornadoes. First of the half for the Red Tornadoes. Indians have all 3 of theirs.
Check your program.
So when you look at this football game, and again, we're talking about a cold bucket game here, so you can throw out, and I know it's, every cliche in the book, you throw everything out, but you do here. The Indians, again, they have not won the cold bucket for 20 years, but that does not mean there haven't been some games 2 years ago on this very field in an overtime game that's still being talked about to this day.
Yep.
Controversial at the end, everything you could want to factor into a football game happened. So there's been some great rivalry games, and I said they've been playing 110 times, so nobody has any secrets from themselves in this game.
No, you're talking about that game, Warren. I think it still was one of the best ever, and having seen a whole bunch of them. The 33-32 double overtime win here, and as you said, controversial. Shamokin fans ready to storm the field, and I don't blame them, after waiting all that time, and came up with the big win on a soccer kicker's kick.
All right, back into play after the timeout for the Red Tornadoes. We'll see what Coach Dara told his group. It's a pitch out to Karicki, and Karicki's going to have to turn up field, and Karicki does. Actually, a nice effort by Karicki to pick up the first down.
He's going to be close. Depends on where they spot it.
And the ball's going to be up at the 43-yard line, so it's first and 10. Have I ever made a mistake on the first down play?
No.
I mean, seriously now.
I'll
Come
be
on.
the first one on that limb saying no.
There you go.
I need a ride home.
You need a ride home.
One of the true wing T offenses you see in high school football anymore. As Ayers on a keeper now, and Ayers still on his feet. And Ayers out over the 50-yard line in the Indian territory at the Indian 46-yard line.
Picked up another first down. He hit into that scrum there for a second and was slowed down. All of a sudden, he pops out.
Somebody held on to his jersey, or he would have been gone.
Kills the, well, it did. It killed the clock for about 2 seconds. Clock is running with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left.
Pass play by Ayers. This time he looks downfield. He has Sherrock wide open again, and Sherrock catches the ball down at the 6-yard line.
They just could not keep up with Sherrock. Sherrock took off right at the snap of the ball and put on a head of steam, and nobody even picked him up.
I mean, they saw him come out that time, but they just couldn't stay with him. And again, in any offense, and I'm talking high school, college, pro, the tight end always gives you a problem in pass coverage. And here you have it. Now the ball's down at the 7-yard line, so it's first and goal from the 7. A minute 50 to go here in the first half of play. And Ayers will be on a keeper, and Ayers makes the turn, and Ayers takes it in. Touchdown, a 7-yard touchdown run by John Ayers, the sophomore quarterback of the Red Tornadoes, and they're back on the scoreboard. It's 13-7 with the extra point by Mangiapane to ensue. So just like that, the Red Tornadoes, and they're not known to be a lightning strike football team. The wing T doesn't lend itself to that. They're a more plotted out, kind of run you over, wear you down kind of football team. But 2 quick strikes here and 2 pass plays. Now Ayers, a wing T quarterback, but I'll elaborate this in a second after the kick, is Mangiapane puts it up, and it is going to be good. It's 14-7. But Ayers, as a wing T quarterback and the leading rusher, he's also passed for over 1,000 yards already.
He's become only the 16th player in Mount Carmel history to throw for 1,000 yards.
So he's a pretty multi-dimensional quarterback, and he's only a sophomore for the Red Tornadoes, so he's got a couple of years left. Now, both of these teams young. The Red Tornadoes very young in that only 6 seniors on the entire team. I don't know exactly how many on the Indian, but it's not much more than that. Both of these teams are very young, and all their skill players are coming back.
John Ayers, 2 of 5 for 74 yards in the first half. Both of those completions to Wesley Sherrock, 74 yards.
It's a way to have a completion, I guess, for a touchdown each time.
Well, he didn't get the second one. Wesley made it to the ground, but he could have.
Yeah, he could have, yeah. All right. Now, I can take the suspense away from this. They're not going to kick the ball deep. It's not going to happen. They don't do that, and they won't do it with Pietkevich standing back there. And they do not, so they're going to leave it go. Now, Pietkevich will get his hands on. He dropped it. So Pietkevich is going to take a hit down there by Wills right over that the 30 at the 32-yard line. I'm surprised now I'm not sure they planned on that. If they were going to kick it through the opening, they'd kick it the other way. But Pietkevich got his hands on it, just couldn't hold on to it and get any kind of momentum going. So it's 14-7 with a minute 34 remaining in the half, and the Indians will go on offense. They have all 3 of their timeouts remaining here, as Grimes will go into his shotgun. Kind of centered the ball before Grimes was ready for it, and Grimes recovered very well for a freshman.
He did, I'll tell you.
But the center surprised him on that play.
Pickup of 7 yards that time. Ball came back and hit Grimes right in the chest.
He did a nice job. He actually made it look like a regular play that time, but he was totally surprised by the snap.
Some of the things you're seeing tonight are obvious to somebody who hasn't played all year. You know, it's the 10th game of the year. Timing is off. The snap count seems to be off. But the kid's doing all right. He's doing an all right job.
Pietkevich trying to get around the end. Pietkevich makes a nice cut back inside, and finally he brought down in there by
McCracken. I talked to his dad, I guess during early spring, and they were grooming him a little bit for the quarterback position. So he's got some experience at that position, but not live play.
Very unusual to start a freshman quarterback in week 10 when there's no injuries. I mean, the other two guys aren't injured.
I think he got a little bit of play last week. I think he was 5 of 8 for 72 yards against Danville late in the game. But it's the first time he played, and I think he was hurt earlier in the year, from what I remember.
So a timeout on the field here. The Indians have called timeout. They have 2 remaining here. There's 45 seconds remaining. The ball is placed at the 42-yard line of the Indians.
Warren, if I may, we heard the public address announcer before the game have a moment of silence for Tom Olses. Tom Olses was a Shamokin fan forever. He's a pharmacist. He was one of my mentors as I grew up into the field, and he was a great fan of Shamokin athletics, wrestling Shamokin, wrestling football and whatever, and it's a sad day for Shamokin to lose Thomas now.
Out of the shotgun. Takes it to Pietkevich, looks downfield and threw it behind his man. That was Jeremiah he was trying to hit. Now Jeremiah was open.
He was open, had some room there, and almost made the reception. Reached back and had it in both hands, but just couldn't hold on to it.
It's the 3rd or 4th time they've run the same,
same
play. It's been as open each and every time.
Yep. 2nd and 10 now. Timeout Indians. That's their 2nd timeout, as they couldn't really get themselves set up on the play there. Like PCN TV on Facebook and Twitter for the latest on the game of the week and everything Pennsylvania. So the Indians would love to go in here with a score. Playing very well tonight. Again, on paper, it was just a mismatch of a football game, but I said in the coal bucket, there's never a mismatch, as you never know what's going to happen.
I think Coach Greg Sakavage was talking about, was that the 1970, if anybody would know, you know, Jose, the 1973 Shamokin team. They were going to the Eastern Conference, and we came down. And
it was the 75 team. They were undefeated. The Manny, Devereaux, Frank Marcinic, Chicatano, and they were undefeated, and we had nothing to play for. We were 7-3 at the time, and came down here and beat them 35.
And they were going to the Eastern Conference.
They actually did go and then won it.
Yeah. And the Eastern Conference at that time was like the state championship.
It was the game, and it was here.
Stevens goes in motion. He fakes it to Steven. He's going to keep it now, and he's going to be brought down right along the line of scrimmage by Anderson. They flushed him out of the pocket there, and it's going to be another timeout.
They called timeout.
Who called timeout? The Indians.
Apparently.
I'm not sure. They're not going.
We did. They showed to us.
We did. Okay, we did. I'm not sure why why the Red Tornadoes would call timeout.
Well, we want to make sure what defense
here.
We're going to run. We don't want to let them have Mount Carmel doesn't want to let them have an easy one at this stage with 28 seconds left in the half. Make sure everybody's on the same page.
Both teams still have one timeout left here. It's 3rd and 10 for the Indians at their own 42-yard line.
If anything, Shamokin has to pick up the first down to stay alive here. for the slant pass to either number 7 or number 8 across the center of the field.
And he has a twins formation now as he comes out of the shotgun. Puts Stevens in motion, so he'll have actually a triple to the one side. He looks the other way. Same pass as before. And Cuff plays it very well once again and knocks it away. He was trying to hit Marcus Divert down there, but Cuff again on good coverage. And it's going to be 4th and 10.
Coverage on the play by number 32 from Mount Carmel area.
4th and 10.
Michael Cuff.
Looks like he's sending in his punt team.
4th and 10 for Shamokin area.
Well, there's less than a second on the clock here. It's .27 remaining. So, I mean, all he really has to do is take a knee rather than risk anything. I have no idea.
Maybe he thinks it's 27.
Yeah, it's .27. There's less than a second left there. I wouldn't do this.
He could take the knee here too,
Who
but
did they
risking a snap.
Yeah, I mean, I just
They put Jack Chapman
short.
They
It's short.
faked it.
Short snap.
The Pietkevich. The Red Tornadoes were all over the play.
No, that was
and
27.
And either way, they
It
would
was
not have
27 seconds left.
27 seconds.
Yeah,
it was
27,
27.
not point. Okay.
But
So
now
they
you
faked
give the
yeah.
Tornadoes
Field
the
position.
ball, field position at the 40 at Shamokin's 43.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I'd have to rethink that one. But you know, we talked about this with Coach Dara. Here's a team that's 1-8 for the Indians. What do they have to lose?
Nothing.
So
Right.
they're going to
They-
pull everything in the playbook out tonight, and Coach Dara expected that to happen. And Coach Dorenzo, when you think about it, why not? You know, you don't have anything to lose here. Go out and maybe get lucky. Ayers will roll and look downfield,
There he is.
and he has Tanny, and Tanny broke loose, but he just can't get underneath it. He threw it a little too far, but that's the second time Tanny's been loose back there in the secondary.
He cut right through 2 defenders for Shamokin.
2nd down and 10 for Mount Carmel area.
Tornadoes have 1 timeout left. Shamokin has 1 for this half. 14 seconds left.
Same play, same roll, looks the same way downfield. Now he's going to keep it. He's going to go out of bounds. Give a little bit of a shove out of bounds there by number
Carpenter.
54, Carpenter. So the clock will stop with 7 seconds remaining here. Red Tornadoes will take one more shot into the end zone or close to it.
3rd and 9 for Mount Carmel area. From the Shamokin area, 41.
And the Tornadoes are keeping Sherrock, number 11, on the backside of the pass play blocking. He's trying to protect John Ayers a little bit.
All right, what should be the final play here as Ayers looks downfield. Plenty of time. And now he lets it go into the end zone. He has Tanny open down there and broken up at the last minute and
flag.
a penalty flag.
That was
Wow, there's no time left on the clock, but the Indians have committed a penalty in the end zone.
That looked like
There is a penalty marker in the end
Jamot, number 33.
33, I think, was. Well, I mean, he's the one that's complaining. I'm not sure who they called
Right,
on.
well, he was
But-
the one in on the action with Tanny.
Now, there's no time on the clock here, so whatever happens here is going to be one more play.
Yep.
Depending where the
It
penalty
should
ends
be
up
from
at.
the 29.
Pass interference against Shamokin area is the call.
All right,
It will be an untimed down.
so there'll be
Untimed
one
down.
play to play here with no time on the clock. The Red Tornadoes have one more shot into the end zone here at halftime. Don't see that very often. They'll mark the penalty off. So the snap actually will take
that was
place
15
from the
yards.
21-yard line, or 26-yard line. 26-yard line. One more play for the Red Tornadoes.
That was a
That was a
push.
I don't know what they
That's the
actually
second
called.
time they called that. Timeout, Shamokin.
Timeout. Shamokin area. Timeout.
They're going to be back in a prevent defense, I would assume.
So the no time on the clock's going to take about 15 minutes before we actually do anything with it. Remind everybody, you're watching live statewide coverage of the Game of the Week courtesy of Mount Carmel Area High School TV. PCN is funded by the Pennsylvania Cable Companies and receives no tax dollars. Thank your cable provider for PCN, and in that case, we'll be thanking Service Electric Cablevision, as they are the cable provider for this station.
Visit PCNTV.com for your cable channel. The game of the week download.
And all this time, it should be a doozy of a play.
No, yeah. Both offense and defense.
Now, if you're the Indians, you take 4 or 5 guys, run them right to the back to the end zone and let them stand there, because that's exactly where the ball's going to go.
Photos of the game of the week by tagging PCN TV on Facebook or Twitter.
Tanny comes in motion, and a fake to the Tanny. And Tanny's got a guy wide open, and it's number 4, Wills, and he couldn't hold on to it at the 5-yard line. And that'll be the end of the first half of play here with the score of the Red Tornadoes 14, the Shamokin Area Indians 7. We're going to take a break here and be back shortly. The third quarter underway. We'll have Jose run down the first half stats.
Well, not a whole lot, Warren, but for Shamokin, 22 rushes for 64 yards, 2 of 8 passing for 41 yards, total offense 95 yards, 9 first downs. For Mount Carmel, 18 rushes for 99 yards, 2 of 8 passing for 74 yards, total offense 173, and also 9 first downs. So it's been, relatively evenly played. The last drive made the score 14-7 rather than 7-7. So it's a good football game.
Yeah, the Red Tornadoes squandering an opportunity right at the end of the half with actually no time on the clock.
Right.
Not able to bring the catch in. So it's a pretty tight game here. And as we said, the Red Tornadoes, when you look at this game, the Red Tornadoes seem to be the ones in control of it, but not like you would think they would be, to tell you the truth.
You're one play away from a tie.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly correct. With Cabbage over on the other side, I wouldn't trust any of them. They have to play some very strong defense. In fact, their score, if you remember, came from an interception, a penalty, which gave Shamokin the ball back on about the 45-yard line, and 2 plays later, they were in for a touchdown.
Well, I think, once again, I'm going to mention that you guys, and you're talking about the penalties. Penalties have really directed the way this game has gone.
Yes.
But for the penalties, it could have been different both ways.
Right, absolutely. So the Red Tornadoes will get the ball to start the second half and go on offense here. As I said, everything's on the line for the Red Tornadoes as far as playoff and playoff seeding. So they're the ones that really have to win this football game. Now, again, all of that is really irrelevant when you come down to the fact that it's the goal bucket game. And that's really what's going to count here at the end, is who's carrying that small, dingy black bucket across the field. I mean, if you told somebody that's what they were playing for, they'd look at you like you were nuts. But it's been going on for 60, did I say it was 66 years?
66th year, the whole bucket game.
So it means an awful lot to these two communities, and sports in general is what binds both of these communities together, to tell you the truth. And in football, baseball, basketball, wrestling, they're all very proud programs here. And it's gone. It used to be that it was outright hateful in the old days, but in now this series more. And as kids get different and communities change a little bit, there's still the rivalry, absolutely, but there's not you always had to worry about a fight breaking out. Or you don't see that as much lately.
The difference too, Warren, is that these kids all know each other now. They get
Yeah.
around more than
Well,
we
social
used
media,
to.
yeah,
Social media,
yeah.
whatever. But they also play baseball, Legion
Yes, they
baseball in
do,
the
yeah.
summertime, and they do other things together: travel baseball, travel basketball, travel whatever.
Yeah.
And it's there's a familiarity between them, and it's not the hatred that
Yeah,
it
it used to be. Yeah. All right, well, Shuda will be kicking off for the Indians. He's going to kick down there to Karicki and I believe Tanny. Tanny on the near side here, Karicki on the far side. Well, Shuda, a senior, had a great kicking career here for the Indians in his 4 years. He's the son of Ed Washuda, a friend of ours. And he doesn't like the football. Or, I don't know what we're doing here for this.
I don't know why we're waiting.
You have somebody running up the sideline here. To talk
Oh,
to Washuda here.
It's the chain gang. The chain gang wasn't back yet from halftime.
From an extended lunch at halftime.
Yes.
There you go.
Yep.
You don't see that very often.
It might have been a first for me.
So they actually.
I thought it might have been a television timeout, but
They're actually. I was going to say I wasn't sure what we were doing here for this. There's still only two of them there. They're missing a guy here.
yeah,
Here he comes.
they might have to recruits come apart.
Here he comes now. Yeah, here he comes. So they didn't have the chain gang was not ready to start the second half. That's unusual. They're having a little chat among themselves about how that happened, it looks like. All right.
Now we're ready.
that was an unusual delay. Washuda lets it rip, and it's going to go deep to Karicki down at the 10-yard line. Karicki looking for some room there and makes a nice return up over the 30-yard line to about the 33, number 82 on the stop. Kane again having a good special teams night for the Indians.
Mount Carmel area takes over first and 10. First and 10 for the Red Tornadoes from their own 32-yard line.
Now we've seen some teams over the season readjust their defense a little bit. We'll see if Shamokin has done the same.
All right, Karicki goes in motion. It's going to be a pitch to Karicki to the Shamokin side of the field. Karicki still on his feet, and Karicki a nice run out to around the 40-yard line. Couldn't see who was holding on to him there. At the end, there was somebody holding on to his leg. But he picks up about 9 on the play. It'll bring up a second down and give him 8. Second down and 2.
Nice run by Karicki. It looked like it jammed up around the line of scrimmage. Seam opened up, and he just popped right through for an 8-yard pickup.
This will be a keeper by Ayers, and Ayers will pick up the first down. Ayers still on his feet out to about the 45-yard line.
Shamokin staying in their defense that they started the game with. It's basically a 5-5, and they put one person back, and that looks either Cole or no, I don't see what the number is there. Back as a safety man, but some good blocking by the Tornadoes. If this is the defense that the Shamokin is running to move the ball down the field.
Tanny comes in motion. The pitch is going to go to Tanny. He's looking for a block. Tanny still on his feet, and Tanny cuts back inside, and he'll cross the 50-yard line down the Shamokin Indian 42-yard line, 43-yard line.
Sam Deptula makes the stop that time. Tanny making a nice cutback, and again against the grain, he cut back into the center from the left hash mark and picks up some extra yardage just on his own.
First and 10 for the Red Tornadoes. The keeper by Ayers. And Ayers somehow found an opening there. I don't know how he squeezed through the pile. But he picks up about 3-4 yards on the play. Man, 5 yards on the play. He'll be 2nd and 5. Good to see number 3, Mike Breslin, back in the football game for the Indians. He got hurt along the Red Tornadoes sideline in the second quarter there, but he is recovered and back in the game.
Stop made that time by Nathan Miller.
This is the keeper to the other side by the quarterback.
Got
and Ayers still on his feet, and Ayers had to slow down for his own guy there. But he'll pick up a first down at the 27 or so yard line of the Indians. Number 27 getting off the very bottom of the pile down there, Dennis Cole.
Pick up of 15, 17 yards that time.
So the Red Tornadoes open the second half with a drive here on offense. Again, nothing fancy, and again, there's never anything fancy with the Red Tornado offense, as they are just a true wing tee. They line up exactly the same way every single play, and dare you to stop them is really what it comes down to. Again, Ayers on a keeper, and Ayers still on his feet, and Ayers inside the 25-yard line. 33 on the stop down there, Jamot. He had some help from 27, Cole also.
Now we saw Ayers not too much in the first half. And I think maybe they're coming out here in this opening half, and with the fresh set of legs, they want John to carry the ball.
Tanny on the inside handoff there, and Tanny bumps into his own guy, and Tanny out to about the 20-yard line. Sorry, gain of 2.
Ben Wright, number 77, on that tackle.
It'll be 3rd down and a long 3, almost 4.
3rd and 4 from Mount Carmel area, from the Shamokin area, 21-yard line.
This is a keeper by Ayers again. Ayers merely looks for the spot, and Ayers still on his
still
feet.
on his feet.
And Ayers breaks loose. Touchdown. John Ayers. A 21-yard extra effort run by Ayers.
Kept his feet going. There, you just about called him down 2 or 3 times on that carry, and breaks free at the 10-yard line and walks into the end zone.
Yeah, that's extra effort, and then some extra effort after that.
On the try, the PAT, Rossellino
Mangiapane in to attempt the extra point. Snap was actually
and it hit the upright.
Hit the upright there. The snap was a little bit rough. McDonald had a hard time getting it down, and threw the timing off. So it'll remain the Red Tornadoes 20, the Indians 7.
Rossellino had a little streak of 20 straight going there. Hate to jinx anybody, so I never mention it. But,
now you
it's
can.
over now. Yeah, it's safe.
Well, not really his fault.
No.
So the Red Tornadoes will get ready to kick off to the Indians here. A quick score to start the second half for them. Remember, you can catch the replay of tonight's matchup on cable or on PCN Select tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Visit PCN.com for the details.
I think Shamokin's bringing everybody up a little bit closer, another 5 yards up towards the ball.
That was 8 plays, 68 yards, 4 minutes exactly on that drive for the Tornadoes.
Back deep for Shamokin area, 20, Devin Pagano.
All on the ground.
Big Jeremiah kicking off the Mount Carmel area. Rossellino, Mangiapane.
And Mangiapane squib kicks it down. They're going to let it go to the deep guy down there. That is Jeremiah, number 8. And Jeremiah brought down relatively quickly by Tanny down there. He had some help by McCracken. So he takes the ball out to the 32-yard line where he's 1st and 10 Indians. Grimes out of a shotgun. This is going to go to Pietkevich. And Pietkevich in a nice run.
Oh, almost. He had another half a step that time. John Ayers tackles him from behind.
So it takes it out to about the 39-yard line.
Nice run that time. He's already looking downfield for the open spot to get to.
7-yard gain, 2nd and 3. Quick pass to Stevens, and Stevens just couldn't hold on to it there.
Nope,
so
Brennan Boris came across, got his hands up, and I think he distracted Stevens. Stevens took his eye off the ball and right through his hands.
3rd down.
Well, they break the huddle. Number 5 is going off the field. They didn't call it.
They'll go under center now in a shotgun. But it's going to be a sweep to Pietkevich as Pietkevich tries to find some room outside, and he does finally.
And still
Pietkevich
moving.
down along the sideline. McCracken finally knocks him out of bounds with help from Cuff down there. But it's going to be a first down in red tornado territory.
Made a nice move that time to make the tackle because he had, it looked like number 18 was blocking him at the time, Diver.
I'm a little confused here. They moved the sticks, and I'm not sure what they called here because the sticks moved up, and now they stopped moving them, and they sent them back, and now they're going to.
Nope, that's a penalty against the Tornadoes.
So it had to be a face mask penalty, one of the small face mask penalties. So the ball now at the red tornado 44-yard line where it's 1st and 10 Indians. Deptula right through the middle, and Deptula still on his feet, and a big run by Sam Deptula all the way down to the red tornado 20-yard line, 1st and 10 Indians.
Great run by Deptula. And I'll tell you what, the quarterback that time, Grimes, just held the ball. That looked like an option play, actually. He held on to the ball just long enough, gave it to Deptula.
Deptula again, this time goes nowhere, stopped right at the line of scrimmage. That's Sherrock down there along with number 75, Anderson. So 2nd and 10.
I'd watch her to slant play by Shamokin here.
Keeper by Grimes. And I'm not sure what he saw there as Anderson buried Grimes back at the 25-yard line or so is where he finally knocked him. But I'm not sure if that play was meant to do that. They'll put it down at the 24, but wow.
They keep on running that same, it looks like a dive play, and he keeps it with Devin Pietkevich on the outside as a pitch man.
So it's 3rd down and about 13 now from the red tornado 24-yard line. Here's the
people coming in, going out.
Yeah, they're a little confused there, and there's only 2 seconds left on the clock, so the Indians will call a timeout. They had a heck of a time getting the package. They wanted it in there on offense. So smartly to call a timeout this is how many scoring chances do you get here? So I think Coach Dorenzo did the right thing there, although he probably wishes everybody was on the same page to start off with. So we'll see what the Indians want to do here on a 3rd and 13. It's 2-down territory either way for them.
No, we talked about the 2 defenses playing very well in the first half. Now the 2 offenses have kicked in and moved the ball. Tornadoes on the opening kickoff moved the ball down the field 70 yards and scored. Now Shamokin takes the ball over, and they're down on the 24-yard line of the Tornadoes.
All right, the Indians come out of a timeout. That was their first of the second half. And they're still having a conversation among themselves. That's the center, number 52 down there, Blake Zalar, talking to Grimes. And this is a fake to Pietkevich, and Grimes is going to be buried once again. That's Boris really made the play.
Boris jumped up. Grimes couldn't throw the ball, and when he pulled it back down, Hood was on his back already, dragging him down.
So the ball back at the 33-yard line now of the Red Tornadoes. It's 4th down and a mile for the Indians. And I believe they probably took him out of field goal range, because I'm sure they had that thought.
Well, the ball's on 4th and 23.
It's the 4th sack tonight for the Red Tornadoes against Shamokin.
So we'll see what the Indians have in store here. Grimes leaves Deptula and Pietkevich in the backfield out of the shotgun. He goes straight back to pass, and he's going to let it go into the end zone.
High.
And it's caught.
Yep.
I think that's Pietkevich caught that. I don't know how they let him do that, as the Red Tornadoes had 4 guys around him. The ball floated in the air, and it's going to be 1st and 10 Indians inside the 5-yard line.
I think they're on 2, to tell you the truth.
So a big play by Grimes to Pietkevich, and it's 1st and goal Indians. Again, the Indians struggling to get the right
Stevens
package
comes
in
out,
there.
and I don't know who came in this time.
They're going to a straight I formation now. It's going to be a keeper by Grimes, and Grimes puts it into the end zone. Touchdown, a 2-yard run by the quarterback on a quarterback sneak, and it's 20-13 with the extra point to come from Washuta. So a nice drive by the Indians.
Yeah. Nice drive, nice pass by Grimes that time. Puts it on the money, all the way down on the 2-yard line.
Pietkevich the holder.
Number 10, Alex Washuta, holding Devin Pietkevich.
And Washuta is up, and it is good. It's 20-14 in favor of the Red Tornadoes.
9 plays, 68 yards, same amount of distance Mount Carmel had on theirs. So matching drives here to open up the second half.
Oh, just about 4 minutes long.
Just about
here.
4 minutes, 9 seconds shy. Mixed it up a little bit, did have the 2 passes, the big completion, the 30-yarder down to the 2.
Like PCN TV on Facebook and Twitter for the latest on the game of the week and everything Pennsylvania. Jose, you have a Twitter account?
Yes, I do.
Wayne?
No.
I wasn't expecting a yes, I do on that one, so I'm taken aback a little bit now. All right, Washuta in the kick.
Back deep for Mount Carmel area, number 1, Tanner Kuricki, and number 21, Lane Tanny.
Kuricki and Tanny down deep, and as is their way, they switch positions on every kickoff. So Tanny now the far side, and Kuricki the near side. And I have to remember when I talked to Coach Dara Sunday to ask him why they do that, because I have no idea why they continually switch position on every kick. Going to go on the ground to the short guy. It's fumbled. Ball's on the ground. A fumble on the play.
Shamokin's jumping up and down. They have the ball.
I don't know who has the ball right this minute here. We'll have to wait and see they get the scrum off there, because everybody's laying on it somewhere there.
Oh, flag now.
Penalty flag goes down on the play. And it's Red Tornado football, and that's Cuff getting off the very bottom of the play. So Cuff recovers the fumble, and there's a penalty flag to deal with now on the field, and that was thrown well after the play had ended. So Cuff makes the recovery. I don't know who the penalty was against. It had to be something someone said. There was no shoving or anything.
Nope.
So they're going to mark off a personal foul penalty against the Indians on top of losing the fumble recovery there. So the ball will go into Indian territory down at the Indian 47-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes. The break for the Red Tornadoes as they recover their own fumble on the kickoff.
You're not kidding.
Cuff was the guy that came up with it on the very bottom, and
and
he had about 18 guys laying on him before he finally got off the bottom there.
And I think actually it came back up so fast it hit Cuff in the back.
Cricky goes in motion. They pitch it to Cricky. And Cricky's going to have a hard time, and he's not. Deptula on the stop. Cricky's going to lose yardage.
Toole playing a good defensive game for the Indians tonight. That was slow developing play for the Tornadoes.
6 on the play brings up 2nd down and 16. 2nd and 16 for Mount Carmel area from their own 40.
All right, 2nd down and about 16, a 6-yard loss on the tackle by Deptula. Koski goes in motion. It's a pass out to Shurock, and Shurock's still on his feet, and Shurock goes out of bounds around the 47-yard line.
Pickup of only about 6 yards that time on the pass play.
Tackle on the play by number 33.
So we'll bring up a 3rd down and about 9 for the Red Tornadoes.
Gain of 7 brings up 3rd down and 9. 3rd and 9 for Mount Carmel area from the Shamokin area. 46-yard line.
Gorkowski goes in motion. It's a pass play. He's looking downfield for
Tanny,
and Tanny makes the catch at the 30-yard line. That's a nice catch by Tanny, and that's a great throw by Ayers to pop it right in between everybody. And it's 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes on a nice pass play.
He gets it up over to defense with the lob pass. Tanny backing up, falls after he makes the catch.
Tanny on the inside handoff. Tanny's going to be brought down the gain of about a yard on the play. That is going to be number 77 on the play, Ben Wright for the Indians.
Tanny tries to cut to the inside a little bit early, although running to the short side of the field towards the Tornadoes bench. He's running out of some real estate there. Had to make that decision quick.
2nd down and 9. Under 2 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Zarkowski gets the fake.
Back to pass.
He looks downfield and he's trying to hit the big guy down there, and a nice play by number 22 down there for the Indians, Noah Mangiaruga. He's one of the captains, and he made a nice play. Ball had to be out there a little faster because he was open for a while, but he just didn't get the ball out there fast enough to him. So it's 4th down.
A little faster, a little bit further, one or the other.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, 3rd down. I'm sorry, I'm missing it down there. It's 3rd and 9 now from the 29-yard line of the Indians. Zarkowski right up the middle, and Zarkowski's still on his feet. Number 54, the guy hanging on there, who's Carpenter, but he takes it down to about the 25-yard line.
Pick up maybe a long 4 yards, maybe.
26-yard line, okay.
Yeah.
So it's now 4th down. It's 4th down and about 6.
Brings up 4th down and 6. 4th and 6 for Mount Carmel area from the Shamokin area. 26-yard line.
A big fourth down play for the Red Tornadoes here. And it's a keeper by Ayers, and Ayers got the outside. They never saw that play coming as Ayers goes out of bounds down along the 4-yard line. Number 33 knocked him out of bounds down there, but it was a big run. Jamont on the stop for the Indians.
You see Ayers with the speed, though.
Yeah.
He wanted to hit the corner as quick as he possibly could, and that gave him more running room once he did get around the end.
1st and 5 for the Red Tornadoes as they completely sealed the end for Ayers, the quarterback. Ayers on a keeper again. He cuts the other way, and Ayers into the end zone on a 5-yard run. Touchdown, Mount Carmel area. 37 seconds left in the third quarter of play here.
Nice blocking by the right side of the offensive line for the Tornadoes. Opened up a hole and got Ayers at least into the linebacker crew of the defense. Ayers picked his way back towards the center of the field and just walks into the end zone for the score.
Well, the Red Tornadoes now going to go for 2. Remember, they missed the extra point on the last touchdown, so they decide to go for 2 here on this one. And Ayers will keep it himself, and Ayers around the end, and Ayers takes it in pretty much unmolested. So the score of the Red Tornadoes 28, the Indians 14 here with 37 seconds left in the third quarter. A back and forth game here between these two teams, the usual slugfest that we normally see in a coal bucket game here, that's for sure.
8 plays, 53 yards that time for the Red Tornadoes.
And again, almost 4 minutes.
Yep. Actually, 3:32.
All right, Mangiapane into kickoff for the Red Tornadoes. Jeremiah and Pietkevich deep for the Indians.
Third quarter, North Schuylkill 9, Pottsville 7. Third quarter, Danville 35, Laurier 6. Third quarter, fourth quarter, Loyal Sock 21, Montorville 14.
All right. Mangiapane signals. Takes a long time to get a kickoff in
Yes,
this
it
game.
is.
Is it me or what? But
No,
it takes a long time to get a kickoff here. Remember, he'll kick it on the ground. There'll be nothing in the air tonight from the Red Tornadoes, and he does again. And this time it's going to go to Jeremiah at the 20-yard line. Jeremiah comes up the field, cuts to the left. Is still on his feet along the Shamokin end zone, or along the Shamokin sideline, I should say. And finally knocked out of bounds. It looks
Chapman,
like
Jack Chapman, number 44,
Widener
hit
looks
him
like 28
first,
also.
and Widener finished him off, driving him out of bounds.
So he 1st and 10, Indians, a nice return up to the 40-yard line where it's 1st and 10 there. Grimes will keep Pietkevich in the backfield. Stevens comes in motion. He fakes it to Stevens, gives it to Pietkevich.
Up the middle, but this time
Ball's
stop.
loose. Ball's on the ground. Fumble.
Initial hit there made by McCracken.
So the Indians recover the fumble, but do so back behind the line of scrimmage where they finally recovered it. And so now it'll be 2nd down and almost 12 for the Indians.
Looks like Shamokin.
Well, that's going to be that's going to
quarter.
be the end of the third quarter with the score of the Red Tornadoes 28, the Indians 14. We'll take a break right here and be back for all the action in the fourth quarter shortly. All right, we're back here getting ready to start the fourth quarter.
like to thank everyone.
I'm not sure what we're doing on the other side of the field down there. This is also a pink out for cancer from these two schools tonight, so they're raising money to fight cancer. The other thing for Mount Carmel area, not only is it the pageantry of the coal bucket game, but it's also the Mike Terry Award for the Red Tornadoes, and I'll elaborate on that later on here as Grimes is going to pitch it to Pietkevich. This time he has some room. But Ayers is going to say no. What a play by Ayers. And Pietkevich is a little bit shaken up on the play there. He's still down on the field. So a timeout on the field for the injury.
Devin had a lot of room to the outside, and Ayers, great lateral pursuit that time to make the tackle.
As I was saying, the Mike Terry Award, of course, the most prestigious football award in Mount Carmel area, and it's named after legendary coach Mike Terry. And we talked about this game used to be played on Thanksgiving for forever. And, of course, after a Thanksgiving Day game, as Coach Terry was boarding the bus down here at Kemp, he had a massive heart attack and passed away right there, in fact. Coach Jazz Dimnick took over for him, and then his long career here at Mount Carmel. But the Mount Carmel Lions Club named a award after Coach Terry, and it goes to the outstanding lineman and the outstanding back in this game, and it's been doing so since 1962 or so, I guess it was when it started.
The heart attack and demise of Coach Terry was after the 1961-1913 win by Mount Carmel down here at Kemp, and you guys at the Lions Club then began the award in 1962 with Ron Grossman being the first.
The only time that it was won was the first year they awarded one award only to the quarterback, but following that year made the decision to give two out, and it's always just such an award to win. And when you look at the who's who of Mount Carmel area football and who's won that award over the years, it's truly an amazing look through history.
Remind me of Ron Grossman. Ron Grossman, one of our greats here at Mount Carmel, went on to play at Princeton and became a physician and has done many great things with his life and was involved at Princeton after his graduation, and a very appropriate guy to win the first award.
Well, Pietkevich is up, but he does not look like he's going to be back in anytime soon there on the tackle by Ayers. It was a good, clean tackle, but it looks like he has an ankle or a knee, I'm not sure which, but either way, he's having a struggle. Losing him in the backfield is a big loss for the Indians here in the fourth quarter, as he truly is the playmaker, the leading rusher, and a threat really to score from anywhere on the field. And with him out, it's going to be a little different offense for the Indians.
From the own 37-yard line.
Although, Warren, I have to tell you, I was impressed with the young man at quarterback. And like you talked about, they're only playing one or two seniors, and people hang with this program. They're gonna develop.
Stevens goes in motion. Grimes goes straight back, and he's looking to hit number 18 down there, Divert. And the problem with that, he's being rushed so heavily that he can't get the pass off.
Yeah, if he had a little bit more time in the backfield, that would be a fantastic pass. Great pattern that's run by Divert every time he has attempted the pass, and he is open.
See, the rush is not, it doesn't allow him to follow through. He's throwing off his back foot, and he's throwing into the dirt all the time. All right, it's fourth down. Washuta, number 10, in the kick, and he'll be kicking down deep to a different guy today. Let me see who we have down there now. For the Red Tornadoes.
That might be Chapman, 44. Or no, it's Demko. Number 14.
Demko. Okay, we haven't seen Demko back there. Demko will just let it hit. It goes sideways along the 32-yard line where he 1st and 10. Red Tornadoes there.
Good play by Demko.
A little bit different look for. We haven't seen Demko. The Red Tornadoes. We follow them.
He's on defense. He's playing. Yeah. He's in the defensive backfield.
They probably stayed team on the field.
Yep.
Maybe thinking maybe.
Okay, could be, yeah.
Interesting right now, in that John Ayers has 98 yards rushing and 97 yards passing. As you know, we talked during the season where he's gone over 100 in 3 games this season. The only quarterback other than Greg Doviak to do that at Mount Carmel.
Oh.
but approaching number 4 here. Although whether he gets to throw again will be in question.
Zorkowski on the carry right up the middle. He'll take it up to the 34-yard line. You have to excuse my voice is leaving
Matt
me.
Carpenter, number 54, making the stop for the Indians.
Second down and 7 for Mount Carmel area.
Second down and 7.
Zarkowski comes out. And Karicki goes in, number 1.
It's a kind of counter play by the quarterback, Ayers. Ayers takes it up to the 38-yard line.
And
Very
again,
close to the first down.
again, Carpenter. Jake playing a great game tonight defensively for the Indians.
Well, it brings up a 3rd and 2 for the Red Tornadoes at their own 39. Zarkowski will go into the lineup here, and Karicki will come out as they only need a couple of yards here. Zarkowski, the bull running back, if you can picture him that way. He's straight up the straight up the middle kind of guy.
But John Ayers is going to keep it and gets around
And
the
Ayers
end.
is still running. Ayers in the Indian territory.
Number 3, Mike Breslin, making the stop for the Indians.
Ayers picks up enough for the first down, 1st and 10.
So 1st and 10 from the Indian 49-yard line.
It gives John 14 carries for 116 yards tonight.
Mr. Ayers was the Terry Award winner last year for the backs, and he's making a statement for himself again. Karicki on the inside handoff, and Karicki originally got slowed up there by 66. Miller.
Number 1, Connor
Aaron Miller, and Aaron still makes the tackle.
Gain of a couple on the play. 2nd down and 8.
And Tornadoes will probably start slowing the clock down a little bit. The play clock down to 12 as they break the huddle.
Ayers on a keeper. Ayers cuts inside. And Ayers is going to pick up a first down inside the 40-yard line at the Indian 37.
Colin Krakowski made a great block. Number 66 thought he had John Ayers, and that's Aaron Miller in the backfield. He's coming from the linebacker position, and Krakowski just blew him out of the way. John cut up behind him. Picks up 12 yards on that carry.
Again, this will be all run here for the Red Tornadoes as Ayers cuts the other way. Ayers still on his feet. And Ayers one guy, and it's going to be number 33, Jamot. Finally taking Ayers out of bounds, but Ayers out of bounds. And now Ayers has a little bit of an injury problem. He's out of bounds around the 18-yard line, but an injury timeout.
We'll see number 13, Tommy Reisinger, coming in as the quarterback.
1st and 10, Mount Carmel area from the Shamokin area,
So as
18-yard
we
line.
take a timeout on the field again, you're watching live statewide coverage of the game of the week, courtesy of Mount Carmel area WKMC TV. PCN is funded by Pennsylvania Cable Companies and receives no tax dollars. Thank you, your cable provider for PCN. And again, thank you, Service Electric Cablevision, the cable provider here.
And you have to remember, this is a high school camera crew. The whole production is put on by high school students. Camera, Emily Barnhart, Tyler Barnhart, Haley Bressy, DJ Malik, Ben McFadden, and Jade Whitmer. Graphics, John Bossler. Replay, Adam Weisinger. Production assistants tonight: Julia Ballard, Tucker Fagley, Taylor Drumheller, Maddie Lyash, Darren Rosenstein, and Aurora Frouts. Recording: Aaron Bossler, and Master Control, Kelsey Wayne.
All right, Ayers is up, walking along the sideline with some help. Looked like an ankle for him. So he'll leave the game, and number
13, Reisinger.
13 Reisinger will be the will be the quarterback for the Red Tornadoes here in a first down and 10 from the 13. Tanny on the handoff. Tanny makes a nice cut inside, and Tanny.
Number 21.
Logan Wills made a nice block on the end that time just to get Tanny up through the middle of the line of scrimmage.
Number 32, Nate Miller.
Picks up about 4. The second down and 6 from the 14.
As we watched Reisinger is going to be more of a passing quarterback than he is a running quarterback like John Ayers.
Tommy Reisinger is the new quarterback for Mount Carmel area. John Ayers was the injured Red Tornado.
Again, doesn't matter who the quarterback is. The formation's exactly the same every time.
You're right.
And this time it's going to be Zarkowski, and Zarkowski with a head of steam. And Zarkowski into the end zone. Touchdown, Red Tornadoes. Zach Zarkowski on a 13-yard run at the 6:49 of the fourth quarter, and the Red Tornadoes back on the scoreboard. It's 34-14 with the extra point attempt to come.
Zarkowski could
I talked about him being a
smell
bull there, yeah.
that end zone there a little bit.
Every time he runs, whether it's 1 yard or 8 yards, there's at least 8 guys laying on the ground when he's done all the time, though.
Marcelino Mangiapone on the side of PAT, holding number 7, Tom McDonald.
The Indians jumped offside
Marker on the play.
on the extra point attempt. It'll move the ball 1 yard closer. The Red Tornadoes may think about a 2-point conversion or not. I don't know. Nope.
Half the distance to
They'll
goal.
just kick it 1 yard closer.
Retry the PAT. Once again, Mangiapone to try the PAT.
Mangiapane's kick is up. This time it is good. It is 35-14. Mangiapane, a first-year kicker for the Red Tornadoes, a junior.
Last year?
Yeah, he kicked
Last year. I'm sorry, not
Last year.
last
halfway
year.
through the season.
Yeah. But the point I was aiming at there was he, much like the last couple, he's a soccer player really from Mount Carmel area, and does double duty as a football kicker. And we watched him from about mid-season last year through this year, and he's really come on strong. Has a field goal to his credit already this year. In fact, he has a field goal against Loyalsock in the opening game and went into overtime.
Yep.
So he's having a nice career.
Well, he's
Number 20, Devin Kirkevich, and number 8, Jake Jeremiah.
he has three of them tonight, right?
Yep.
That gives him 33 on the season, 50 in his career. Has moved up into probably 7th or 8th place on the all-time list with his extra points.
Now, Pietkevich back in the football game, it looks like, for the Indians, as he's back deep. Mangiapane will squib it to him right at the 21-yard line, and he goes upfield. So
Boy, what
whatever
speed.
happened to him before,
Well,
he was able to get rid of it.
What
And
speed. I'll tell you what, he's probably one of the quickest halfbacks we've seen this year.
So it'll be 1st and 10, Indians from their own 48-yard line.
Oh, look at this set.
Ooh.
They have quad receivers out here. Throw it to Pietkevich. And Pietkevich
he
is
went
going to
the
run
wrong-
into a buzzsaw
Yeah,
there.
he should have ran to the outside. I think he would have picked up a little bit more yardage.
McCracken on the stop for the Red
McCracken was
Tornadoes.
there, number 72. Colin Herb was in there.
Gain a yard on the play, second and 9.
Boris, number 70.
That's the first we've seen that play from the Indians tonight. Again, they're trying to isolate Pietkevich,
Yep.
get him some room, get him some
There we go,
room and
Ben.
space there for him to run. They do it exactly the same way again, only to the short side of the field, which is odd.
They're going deep.
No chance on
No.
that play as
They're going. Who was that? Number
8 is Jeremiah. He was trying
Jeremiah. But if he would have set himself up a little bit better that time, I think Grimes would have made a better throw.
Well, he's throwing too quick.
Yeah.
And again, it's partly the pass rush, but he's not getting himself set. His feet aren't set when he throws. Again, he's a freshman playing his first game of the year.
I think he's doing a great job.
So, I don't want to be too harsh on him, but that's the reason that his passes are falling short mostly, because he's not following through. Another pass play, looks downfield. And this one is almost intercepted by McDonald. He's trying to hit Jeremiah.
Jeremiah was covered by McDonald in the front and Demko behind him.
So it's fourth down now for the Indians.
Jack Chapman is in playing the left linebacker position now.
So the Indians will go for it. The ball's at their own 49-yard line, but there's only 5:54 remaining in the game. They're down 34 or 35-14, so now's the time. They're going to go quad the other direction now. And
And that was a bad snap.
Yep, Jeremiah couldn't hold on to it. I'm sorry, Grimes. The quarterback couldn't hold on to the snap. It wasn't his fault on that one. And the Red Tornadoes will take over 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Reisinger will still be in the game here. I don't see Ayers sitting on the bench anymore, but I believe it's a case of why put him in
Right, exactly.
when you're going to move into the playoffs and you give him some needed rest here. So he will not re-enter the game, it doesn't look like, although it looks like he could if he had to. So Reisinger looks like he'll take it the rest of the way, and Zarkowski says, just give it to me and I'll pound my way down the yard there. Taken out of bounds by number 33, Jamot. So, I don't know, was there a flag on the play?
I don't know.
No? I can't. There had to be something on the play. What are we doing? No idea what we're doing here. Somebody's going to get a penalty on
Oh, wrong side. Who's facing us?
personal foul, Red Tornadoes. I didn't see the
It was
flag
right-
even, so I don't know where that happened at.
Right there and about the 42-yard
Line of
line it
scrimmage.
was thrown. Yep.
So no play for Zarkowski.
Red ball, personal foul against Mount Carmel area. 15 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st and 10. Red Tornadoes from their own.
1st and 25.
43-yard line.
All right, first down, 25, as Jose said. On the big personal foul penalty, the Red Tornadoes had one of those before. And Reisinger will bring him up. And referee kind of surprised the Red Tornadoes when he blew the play back into play there. He surprised Reisinger a little bit. Zarkowski the other way. And Zarkowski still on his feet and back in the Indian territory to stop made by Breslin.
Breslin, number 3, making it stop. I think the whole line picked their heads up and turned around and looked. And
Definitely gave him a little bit of a scare there when he blew the whistle that close to
And
them, I guess.
you know, to tell you the truth, that is a motion call because they were all set in position.
Gain of 9 brings up
All right.
third down and
Third down at about 16.
Tommy Reisinger waiting until the clock gets down to about 9 seconds, so play clock.
Zarkowski the other way. Zarkowski still on his feet, and Zarkowski down to the 35-yard line.
Zarkowski waited. He had Manus McCracken in front of him and waited until the very last second when McCracken blocked the linebacker out of the way, cut back upfield, and picked up some big yardage.
So it's fourth down. The Red Tornadoes going to go for it. Ball on the 35-yard line of the Indians. And to give it to Zarkowski again. He makes a nice cut inside. Zarkowski still on his feet. He picks up the first down and then some. Run out of bounds by number 33, Jamot, but first and 10 Red Tornadoes as Zach Zarkowski now has taken this game on his shoulders.
He has to. Where's his out? There's your 100-yard rusher.
Zach Zarkowski, 9 for 60. 3 rushers over 50 yards tonight for the Tornadoes.
Official timeout here for something. Somebody had an equipment problem there for the Indians. So they'll start the play clock. 3 minutes and 36 seconds left in the ball game here. The Red Tornadoes have a first and 10 on the Indian 21-yard line. And it's Zarkowski the other way. Zarkowski this time a couple of yards. A nice play by the Indians down there by Stevens.
Stevens, nice play. He was being blocked by Tanny that time and held up, and then at the last minute came underneath Tanny and makes the tackle on Zarkowski.
Gain of 2 on the play. Second down and 8. The ball just inside the 25-yard line of the Indians. This time Zarkowski goes straight up the middle, and this time the Indians say no. They'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage.
55, Richie Clayman making the stop.
An injured Indian on the field down there. I believe that's number 11, Grimes. I can't tell for sure. He was the guy that actually made the tackle. So timeout here at the 2:27 mark of the fourth quarter. For all intents and purposes, the Red Tornadoes look to win this game and move into the District 4 playoffs. And again, who that is, we do not know at this time, as there's any number of combinations of win and losses between everybody in District 4. The Indians, a quad A school playing in District 4, and that's number 77, not 11, 77 getting off the bottom of the pile down there. Ben Wright shaken up, but he looks okay. So the Indians will drop to 1-9. The Red Tornadoes will even themselves up at 5-5 as they get ready for the playoff picture. And the coal bucket will remain in the possession of the Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes for the 21st consecutive year, the longest streak ever in the coal bucket series. Reisinger gets him set. This is like a total dose of Zarkowski,
the
only he fakes it
pass.
this time and throws it to Tanny. And
Oh,
Tanny
Tanny.
got shielded. He got shielded by Jamot there and didn't see the ball to the last second and right through his arms.
Number 13, Tommy Reese.
It was a nice pass by Reisinger.
I'll tell you what, we watched him all season long playing JV ball, Reisinger, and he has a fantastic arm. He hit Chapman all over the field. Logan Wills played also, and Shane Widener was a receiver. So he can throw the ball.
It's 4th down and 10. And they give the ball to Zarkowski and tell him to go around the end, and he does, and Zarkowski will pick up the first down, it looks like.
Number 31, Zach Zarkowski.
Zarkowski really having a great fourth quarter here.
Play by number 66 with Shamokin.
Good blocking in front of him, though, I'll tell you. Manus McCracken is doing an outstanding job just blocking the defensive end out of the way or the linebacker.
So 1st and 10, Red Tornadoes, ball down about the 13? Yeah, 13-yard line. Zarkowski again. Zarkowski still on his feet.
Walks
And
in.
still in and still in and touchdown, Zach Zarkowski.
Number 31, Zach Zarkowski. 14 yards for the Mount
Well, he's really come on in the fourth
Yes,
quarter for the
he
Red
did.
Tornadoes.
And when they needed him, too, because John Ayers got hurt, and they decided to keep him out, which is a good call.
Mangiapane in to attempt the extra point.
On the try, the PAT, Rosalino Mangiapane. Holding number 7, Tom McDonald.
Ball is up, and it looks good, and it is. The score, the Red Tornadoes, 42. The Shamokin area Indians, 14 with a minute 33 remaining here in the ball game tonight from Kemp Memorial Stadium.
Good drive that time by Zarkowski. Some good running on his part, and it seemed like the Tornadoes were run exclusively to the right side, whatever they had seen.
That's an 8-play drive, 58 yards, 7 of those carries by Zarkowski.
Yeah.
What's unusual, after watching the Red Tornadoes all year like we do, it's unusual to see Zarkowski run so far outside.
Yes.
He's usually right up the middle. He's right in the A gap all the time. But he's finding his way around the end this time, and that's really where he's gained so much of his yardage. He's not the fastest guy, but he's certainly hard to bring down. He always has been. He's one of the seniors on this team. All right. Mangiapane gets ready to kick off. He's got Jeremiah and Pietkevich deep. This one's going to bounce down and be fumbled a little bit there and finally covered up by the Indians. Number 37, the guy on the bottom of the pile that recovered the fumble. No, not 37.
77, Ben Wright.
Right, Ben Wright, okay. All right, 1st and 10 for the Indians from their own 38-yard line.
1st and 10, Shamokin area. From their own 38-yard line.
A new quarterback,
New quarterback in there, Zach Johnson, number 6, and Zach had a little trouble with the center snap and handed it.
tell
Actually
you
got it
the
handed
truth,
off to Pietkevich.
I think they got a whole new crew in there.
Johnson's a sophomore. The Red Tornadoes now make wholesale changes on defense. We have 2 different teams now playing on either side of the ball. Minute and 5 and counting here. And Johnson's a 6'1", 210-pounder. He's a big.
Now we got a flag here.
Substitution. too many men.
Is that what it was?
Having a heck of a time.
Yeah, we
Having
still
a heck of a
have,
time
yeah.
getting everybody lined up here. All right. So the mark off the 5-yard penalty against the Red Tornadoes. There's 52 seconds remaining in the ball game here. So the Indians have 2 big freshman quarterbacks on their roster. Again, a very young Shamokin area Indian roster, that's for sure. And Johnson's going to let her rip.
Actually, he was the quarterback for the majority of the season.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
He's a sophomore. I'm sorry, sophomore, not a freshman. Well, he started the year then. Okay.
And then I think Bowers, who is a sophomore also, was Colin was a quarterback.
Okay. All right then. So they've used 3 quarterbacks this year. He caught the ball, but he knelt down when he did it, and that was the problem. That's Kane on the reception, but he knelt down and touched the ground when he caught the ball. So it's going to be 4th down for the Indians, 4th and about 8.
I think the time is going to run out.
High snap, and Indians are going to fall on it. No, the Red Tornadoes are going to fall on it. That's number 13 on the recovery, Reisinger, but it really makes no difference. There's 2 seconds left here in the ball game. The Red Tornadoes will have to take a snap as the ball will change hands here. Remember, you can catch the replay of tonight's matchup on cable or on PCN Select tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Visit PCNTV.com for all the details. Reisinger will kneel down, and that will be the end of the football game here from Kemp Memorial Stadium between the Red Tornadoes and the Indians. The Red Tornadoes victorious, 42-14. Importantly for them, they'll retain possession of the cup. Goal bucket for the 21st consecutive time. Even more important maybe to them, they move into the playoffs. They'll move into the District 4 2A playoffs. I do not at this point know who they'll play, but they're going to probably be somewhere around the 6th seed, it looks like. 5th or 6th seed, depending what some other teams did in that division in District 4 here in Pennsylvania. So a big win for the Red Tornadoes. A little bit of a scare at the end with Ayers, but looks like he'll be okay for the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, he looks good.
The Indians, again, a very young football team, only, say, 8 seniors.
Eight seniors.
So the future looks pretty bright for those guys as they'll not enter the playoffs at all and go on to winter sports for them. And, of course, basketball, one of their big sports at Shamokin area. So it's really been an interesting football game. Jose, you want to go the
real
final
quick,
stats?
for Shamokin, 34 rushes, 72 yards, 5 of 16 passing for 72 yards, 144 yards of total offense. For Mount Carmel, 47 rushes for 313, and 4 of 12 passing for 97, 410 total offensive yards, 22 first downs for Mount Carmel, and 12 for Shamokin. Obviously a total tale of 2 halves.
Yeah, tight first half and not so much in the second half. The Red Tornadoes kind of took over in the second half. And again, a punishing ground game. That's what they're known for. But they threw some passes tonight that were accurate. Threw a touchdown pass. And again, you can see how versatile. Now remember, the Red Tornadoes only have 6 seniors on their team, and Ayers, the quarterback, is only a sophomore. So when you look at that team, you know, while they're still moving on to the playoffs, the future bodes well for them. We're going to sign off here from Kemp Memorial Stadium. This has been a sports presentation of WKMC TV, the broadcast arm of Mount Carmel Area High School. Good night.